going to focus on this lesson on, we give you two x-intercepts and another point on the graph, and we want you to come up with the quadratic equation for this parabola. All right, so here is our graph. It's a parabola that opens down. We give you the two x-intercepts and one other point. So let's start off with finding the x-intercepts. So the x-intercepts are where they cross the x-axis. So here's a point of -2, 0. So that's our first x-intercept. And then we have another x-intercept that crosses the x-axis at 7, 0. All right, so let's identify in step 1 the two x-intercepts. The two x-intercepts are at -2 and +7 on the x-axis. So -2 and +7. Step 2, we want to write this equation in factored form. So we're going to go ahead and substitute these two numbers in here. Now I tell my students when we think about this, we want to think opposite. So we're going to go ahead and go a +2 and a -7. So think about the zero product property. If we set this equation equal to 0, set the y equal to 0, and we solve for x, we would get our zeros, our x-intercepts, at -2 and +7. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and erase that 0. We don't need that there. All right. Now, we need to find out what our a is. If you remember your a tells you, does it open up or down? So a equals a positive, the parabola opens up. Well, if we look at our graph, our parabola opens down. So we should have a -a. Also, the a tells you how much does it stretch or compress on the vertical axes from your original parent function. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the other identifiable point, which we give you here as 0, 4. This also represents the y-intercept, just happens to be the y-intercept. It could be any point on the graph. I just chose nice numbers for you here. So this is your y-intercept, or another point on the graph. So I'm going to call that x and y. So here's step 3. Step 3 says we want to find the y-intercept, or another point on the graph. So we found, scroll it up here for a little bit so you can see, the ordered pair 0, 4. So I'm going to let the x be my 0, my y be my 4. Now in part B, we're going to go ahead and plug that ordered pair into step 2 from above to find our a. So my x is my 0, and my 4 is my y. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to replace the y with 4. The a is our unknown. I'm going to replace the x with 0. I'm going to replace the other x with 0. So now we have one variable that we need to find, a. So let's go ahead and solve this for a. So we're going to first simplify our parentheses. So 0 plus 2 is 2. 0 minus 7 is -7. Then we're going to go ahead and multiply the 2 and -7 together on the right-hand side. So that becomes -14, a. All right, I'm going to push these down a little bit. I didn't leave myself enough room here. All right. Now we're going to divide both sides by -14. So 4 over -14 equals a. And then we reduce this down to its lowest term. So we're going to divide both the numerator and denominator by 2. So we get -2/7. So that is our a value. We did say earlier in our problem that we wanted our a value to be negative. All right, our last step is to take this a value and substitute it into our factored form equation. So our equation in factored form is going to be y equals -2/7 times the quantity of x plus 2 times the quantity of x minus 7. All right. Now, if we asked you to convert it to standard form, you remember you take this factored form equation and you FOIL it out. So I'm going to go a step further and do that with you. So y equals -2/7, so that's my a value, remember? And then I have x plus 2 and x minus 7. So we're going to FOIL this out, the parentheses first. So we'll do first, x times x is x squared. Outside, x times -7 is -7x. We'll go to inside, 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. All right, so we have distributed the two parentheses, the binomials together. We're going to combine like terms. So negative 7x and 2x is negative 5x, and then negative 14. Now we're going to distribute. All right, so y equals negative 2/7 times x squared, negative 5 times negative 2/7 x, and then negative 2/7 times negative 14. All right, let's simplify those terms. I'm going to scroll this down a little bit. All right, so the first term is negative 2/7 x squared. We're going to go ahead and throw a 1 in the denominator of that 5. Multiply across, negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. 1 times 7 is 7. X, multiply across, or you can reduce this. The 7 and 14 become a 1 and a 2 when you divide by 7. Now we multiply across. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Now this quadratic equation is in standard form.